Welcome to another gay sauna review video. This time we head over to Manchester, UK to enjoy Basement. In this video, I'll break down the location, the price, the quality of the staff. We're going to go through the amenities, a few pros and cons of the space, and we're going to end with my final rating. And later in the video, I'm going to share with you my hot tip for how to best enjoy this specific location. All right, let's go. In this video, I'm reviewing Basement Sauna in Manchester, but of course, I cannot go into detail about my personal experiences with the clientele there. That is what my OnlyFans is for. So for the full and complete story of all the spicy details of what went down at Basement, you can find my OnlyFans link on my website, linked below. Before I visited the sauna, I spoke to some locals about the place and their experiences there, and they gave sort of lukewarm reviews. And after reading some pretty terrible reviews online for the place, my expectations of Basement were, well, in the basement. Look, as Manchester's only gay sauna, it has a lot of heavy lifting to do, so let's see how it stacked up. We're gonna start with the location. Basement is located at 18 Tariff Street. That's great, Patrick. What the f does that mean? Well, I'll tell you. Manchester is surprisingly small. You can walk across the whole city in like 30 minutes. If you're staying outside, maybe in the burbs or a little bit outside of the city center, they have an amazing public transportation system. There's trams, there's buses. I can't tell you how many times I was almost run over by a bus. From what I could tell, at night, the neighborhood that Basement is located in, it seems safe because it's like a nightclub, bar neighborhood. It seemed really straightish, but it's walking distance from Canal Street, which is the gay hub. It's like a 5-minute walk from there, so no problems. When you approach the building, it's very unassuming, as a lot of saunas are, but it's also well indicated so you know exactly where you are. Okay, let's talk about the hours of operation. Unlike a lot of North American bathhouses, it is not open 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. It opens at noon until 11 p.m. during the week, and then Friday and Saturday it's open from 11 till 8 a.m. the next day. So on the weekends, obviously they expect more traffic. People are going out, they're partying, they're drinking, so they keep it open till 8 a.m. Something that is important to note is that the last entry for this place is 1 hour before it's closing. That's also the time that they shut off the wet areas. So I'm assuming near the end of closing time, people are really starting to file out because nobody new is coming in and they're starting to shut the place down, which is kind of depressing. Okay, let's talk about price. Now for this, I'm gonna have to read directly off my laptop because it is super confusing. We have what they call discounted admission. So Monday to Friday, from midday to 1 p.m., it's £10. So for 1 hour, it's £10. Then Saturday, Sunday from midday to 1, it's £15. So for 1 hour, you got a small window, you better get in there, it's £15. But that's not the confusing part. Monday after 1 p.m. for everyone, it's £15, okay? This is on Monday. Tuesday after 1 p.m., for 30s and over, it's $15. So if you're 30 and over, after 1 on a Tuesday, it's 15. Wednesday is different because Wednesday after 1, if you're under 30, then it's $15. But so if you're under 30 on a Tuesday after 1 p.m., then it's £20. If you're 30s and over, the problem is the wording. They keep changing the wording too. 30s and over on Wednesday after 1 is £20. If you're lost, yeah, so am I. It says general admission at other times is £20. So I'm guessing that I would fall under general admission at other times, except the next line says weekend pricing over bank holidays. So on a bank holiday, it's weekend pricing. But what is the weekend pricing? Is it the general admission? It doesn't say anything about weekend pricing. Then it says the annual membership is £5. So anything you're paying, you're also going to pay an annual membership fee of £5. And if you want an extra towel, it's £1. And then it's free entry on your birthday. So best to go on your birthday, because if you can figure out the rest, then God bless you. So obviously I had no idea what I was doing. I did not understand the admission at all. I just went in. So as I'm paying, he's like, oh, and there's a $5 membership fee. And I explained to him, I said, oh, well, I'm from out of town. You know, I will not be returning to basement anytime soon. And he kind of looked at me blankly and was like, yeah, it's a members club. So it was never explained to me what that means exactly. Is it just a fee that they're charging to everybody just to, like, on top of everything just because? Or is it part of a law? Like, is it the law in Manchester that it needs to be a members club for it to be a sex club? I don't know. It wasn't explained. It would have been nice for him to explain, especially since I don't live there and I won't be back. So I'm paying a membership fee for something that I'm only going to use once. Of course, I'm in the UK, I'm paying in pounds. So wherever you're coming from, obviously it's going to be more expensive for you because the pound is very strong. I spent $43.84 Canadian just to walk in the front door. Let's talk about the staff, because you know that I think the staff and customer service is extremely important to, well, to anywhere, but especially in these spaces, because people are being vulnerable, intimidated, they're scared, all of these things. There's a lot of emotions going on. A lot of them are there for the first time, whether they're from out of town or they're not from out of town. And a lot of people need a little hand holding and stuff. And I find the customer service in these places lags. I read in the reviews that the customer service was so bad. So I went in with that already in my mind. And at the front desk, I was checking in. You know, he's not offering very much. So I'm going out of my way to pull the niceties out of him. And I was really, you know, asking questions and being chatty and being friendly, really trying to see if I could just dig in there and get it out of him. He was nice enough. We had a little banter back and forth, but I had to work for it. And I shouldn't have to work for it, especially when I'm paying $43.84 Canadian just to walk in the front door. Inside the place, I didn't actually see any cleaning staff going around except in the bathroom, which was closed for a little while for them to clean it. And I had a little interaction with the guy that had cleaned the bathroom, and he was actually really friendly. So I got a smile. Ah! So let me know in the comments, have you ever encountered bad customer service at a sauna before? Where was it? And what happened? And hey, if you're finding this video helpful so far or entertaining, make sure to leave a like and to subscribe so you do not miss a thing. Thank you. Hey, it is time for the lay of the land, which is basically the amenities, what you can expect when you go to basement. So when you open the front door, you're gonna go down a bunch of stairs, which is nice. I like that because, first of all, it's called basement, so the fact that you're heading down makes sense. And I like it because it gives it that, like, illicit underground feeling. The reception is right there. You cannot miss it. Behind the glass, they are selling poppers and lube and dildos. Oh my. Although the admission is very confusing, the check-in process was straightforward. He was very 1, 2, 3 with it. So, which is good because as a tourist, you know, you don't want to have to feel like you're guessing at things or that you're too lost. You just want it sort of easy turnkey solutions, you know? Gives you 2 packets of lube, a towel, and then you get a key on an elastic band. Now, elastics come in different shapes and sizes. This was literally an elastic band, and you know what an elastic band does when you wrap it around your arm? It pinches. It wasn't the right elastic band, but it's there for you to use. Okay, then you enter the locker room, which is a good size. It's sort of an L shape like this. It's got white lockers. It's got cool accent LED lighting. The lockers are white, which gives it even more of a clean appearance, and they're a good size. So thumbs up for the locker room. Then you head down the hall and there's a dry sauna on your left. It is a really nice sized sauna. There's one huge problem with this sauna. It's not heated. Now, remember, I was only here one night, one day. If you live in Manchester and you've been to Basement and you have something to say about the unheated dry sauna, please leave a comment below, because I don't understand why I want to sit in a room with wood benches, but people are in there and they're sitting around, and I'm like, I was in there 30 seconds and I just left, because I have a big pet peeve when something is built for a purpose and that purpose is not being fulfilled. Much like an escalator. When escalators are stopped, I get it, they have to fix them and whatever, but I don't take then I walk up the stairs, because that's what stairs are for. Escalators are supposed to move. So when they're not moving, I'm like, ugh. So anyway, the dry sauna was not heated, so I was like, why am I in here? But one good thing about the dry sauna was that one whole wall is glass and it looks directly onto the jacuzzis. So I guess people are sitting in there watching who's coming and going into the jacuzzis and walking down the hall. Speaking about the jacuzzis, there's 2 jacuzzis, which sounds great, but it's not, because they're so small. Literally 2 or 3 people can fit in one, and already you're crunched because you have no option. Like, your feet are already, your legs are over dangling each other, you're intertwined with each other, which is fine if that's, you know, you're flirting with somebody or you're getting on. But if you actually just want to sit in the jacuzzi and, you know, you're taking a break, or you're just resting, or you're not in the mood anymore, or you're not into the guy sitting across from you, you might not have a choice in these jacuzzis to have sex with them, because you're basically sitting on their lap anyway. They're so small. I was thinking it might be better, because there's a lot of room there, take out the 2 jacuzzis and put one big one. I know these things cost money, I'm just saying. One big jacuzzi where people could spread out a little bit more would be better. Another problem, it wasn't heated very much. So now I'm just sitting in this like tepid water that's bubbling, sitting on a stranger that I'm not attracted to. And across the hall from that, a little bit down, is the wet sauna, which finally, something worth going to in the wet areas. Wet sauna, as soon as you open the door, it's a really big size. The benches wrap all the way around. There was even guys playing in there. The temperature was perfect. You could sit in there for a while and heat up, but it wasn't too hot that you couldn't play in there, that's a hard balance to get. It was also really cool lighting in the sauna, which was nice. And that sort of ran throughout Basement. They did a really good job with accent lighting and LED lighting. A lot of the lights were red, and everybody looks good in red lights, so they did well with that. Across from there, you've got the showers. Now, when I went to take a shower, I was like, oh look, it's a big rain shower, that's exciting. And I pushed the button, which I liked, because I don't like when I go somewhere and it's about too hot, too cold, and there's too much going on. No, there's a button, you don't really have a choice, it comes on. Which I actually appreciate that, because I don't want to have to think, I'm there to have fun, and the blood isn't here, the blood is down here. So I push the button, and I'm like, oh, this is nice, good temperature. Water goes off. I'm like, oh, push it again, water goes off. I'm like, I can't even get wet. Like, the water is literally on for 10 seconds, maybe not even. Pushing, just to get, and then you, soap, quick, push, soap, oh, push. So, not a fan of the showers. 3 big shower heads. It's not really a shower room either. It's kind of like a shower hallway. Like, it's just on the way from point A to point B. There's like 3 showers that you can use. That's not really a complaint. It's mostly why can you just leave it on? I get you want to save water. I've seen showers that are left on, and that's a pet peeve of mine too, because I don't want to waste water. I gotcha. But it needs to be just a little longer. Just a little bit longer. I mean, the struggle was real. I guess we're gonna end this particular area by visiting the bathroom. So you walk in, there's kind of a trough to pee in, which is cool. I like that because it's very interactive and that's the right place for it. Then there's 2 or 3 sinks and 3 stalls. The stalls are just regular bathroom stalls with like a lot of room at the bottom and a lot of room at the top. Not much privacy, not much privacy to do a number two, and not much privacy to douche. In fact, there are no douching stations there. So I had my trusty little douche with me. Of course, I bring it everywhere I go. I'm like, where do I fill up my little bulby douchey thing? I have to go to the sink. Filling up your douche at the communal sink where people are coming and going is almost like showing the behind the scenes that I don't need other people to see necessarily. That's fine. Now you know that I want to get okay, great. It's not about that. It's just the process of getting to that point. I don't need you to be a part of the process of my douching. I think me and my douching should be something between me and myself. And I don't need the whole sauna to be part of that process with me. So I didn't like that. I felt very exposed filling up my thing. Finally, on this first level in the very back, there's this giant lounge, which is very European because there's always a big lounge and a bar and a place to socialize, a place to relax, meet people, and talk, which is nice. I'm totally into it. But it almost felt a little wasteful in its size, and I don't know if it's because it wasn't busy. Actually, now that I think about it, there weren't enough seats also. So I feel like if you're gonna have that much space, put a few more couches, maybe or something where people could sit. There was seating, but not enough for people to congregate and relax and socialize, which is, I think, the point of the space. There was a big TV, they were playing Good Girls, and I was watching for a while. There's a bar, full bar, big bar, no bartender. I saw a guy come and go, but I think if I wanted a drink in a moment and he wasn't there, that's tough. Although it wasn't busy enough for him to be standing there like an asshole, so I don't know what the solution there is. Thing about a space like that, because it's so big, it tends to get a little drafty. So I was sitting there watching Good Girls for a little while and then felt a little drafty. And the last thing you want to feel in a bathhouse is a little drafty. Now we're going to get to one of my favorite parts of basement, which is from the lounge is where you're gonna access the big play area, which is kind of in another section. And to get there, you need to go down some stairs, through a tunnel, and then back up some stairs. I love this feeling because it really feels like you're leaving one space behind and you're entering another space. It also adds to that kind of underground basement, illicit, private, sexy, where are we going? This like dark tunnel it wasn't dark, but this tunnel that you have to walk through, go down through this. Like, I like that idea. Psychologically, I like that idea. Like, oh, I'm heading somewhere naughty. The lighting down there was amazing. It wasn't too dark. It wasn't too bright. The LED strips were in the right areas. A lot of red light, which obviously makes everybody's complexion look better. Actually, I should have a red light. What am I doing? Which makes everybody's complexion look better. A big communal play space with a few mats and stuff to throw yourself on. In that room, there's also that cross that you can like strap yourself to. There's a bench in the corner, a huge TV playing porn. So lots of opportunities in the main room for you to be an exhibitionist. And there's a couple sides. One side is very mazy. It has rooms. Cubicles with doors, very European sauna. You open the little door, you kind of step up into this like cubby, and then there's a mat, and then you close the door, there's a little latch, and you can have privacy. You use the room for as long as you need it, then you leave, and somebody else can use it. Bunch of rooms like that, different sizes, different configurations. Some have TVs. Oh, one thing though, a couple of the mats needed to be replaced. So they were tears and they were kind of like folded. And you know the material in this mats are like that thick plastic. It's a foam inside and then that thick plastic outside, which when it rips, it's sharp. It's like sharp. So a couple of the mats you would not have laid down on. Most of the mats seemed pretty new. One of the rooms was like a show-off room, so it had windows so people could look in, you can see out, had a TV in there, so that's a way to be an exhibitionist without having to worry about other people becoming involved in whatever you're doing. There was also a dark room, which I did not go in. It was pitch black, so I don't know what's in there. And then there's the sling room, which it did not have a door. It's just open, but it's like in a room, so it's semi-private, I suppose. There were enough play areas, enough choices, enough places to go, enough configurations to really satisfy anybody's taste down there. So let's talk about some of the pros of basement. I'm gonna say the location is fantastic. You can walk to it from anywhere. The wet sauna specifically was the perfect temperature, a great size, and the play areas, which are so important and kind of the purpose of, you know, the sauna. Okay, the cons. That's the shower. That's the shower, folks. Yeah, that seems like an easy fix. Maybe it's on a timer. You just need to it doesn't last long enough. The jacuzzi, I mean, either take out the 2 jacuzzis and put one big one, or at the very least, at least turn up the temperature of the water so that it feels like, you know, when you get in a jacuzzi, you're like, ah. The dry sauna was even more of a miss because why am I sitting on a wood bench in a room? The price, of course, is kind of a sticking point. It was a sticking point with people on the reviews. It was a sticking point with locals that I spoke to that don't go because the price is too high. And lastly, I'll say, of course, the douching stations, which are important for me, I think are something that should be there and available for people because I don't need everybody to be part of that process. Hey, if you are still here, then you deserve my hot tip for Basement Manchester. I read some reviews and I heard from the locals and I even spoke to the front desk guy. All of them said the very best day to go to Basement Manchester is Sunday. I guess people have tried to pull on the weekends and they didn't score, so they give up and they go to Basement on Sunday. If you're gonna go on a Sunday. I was there on a Saturday night. It was like 11 p.m. So here in Toronto, 11 p.m. it's packed. You might have to be on a waiting list. There it was pretty empty. I did score, and that's over on my OnlyFans, so go check that out. Overall, it was pretty quiet, so go on a Sunday. Now, as for the ratings, I had a hard time with this one in particular because I realized that I was doing the ratings out of 5 eggplants. And that does not allow for enough nuance in the ratings. So moving forward, I'm gonna be giving my ratings out of 10 eggplants. Of course, 10 is a perfect score. Basement Manchester did have a lot going for it. It did have a few misses. I feel like the misses are fixable. There are things that are easily fixed, so I'm not going to take a lot off for that. My final rating is 7 eggplants out of 10. All in all, if you are in Manchester and you want to check out the local flavor, Basement on a Sunday is a good place to go. It's the only place to go. Your support means so much to me by subscribing, commenting, or even becoming a patron, like my newest patron, Clarker. Patrons of my channel get advanced access to videos, behind-the-scenes content, and monthly video chats with moi. And for a deeper dive, why not sign up for my newsletter? It's absolutely free and full of discounts on fun stuff for you to enjoy. For all the ways you can support, including Patreon, my newsletter, OnlyFans, just go to patrickmarano.com. It's linked in the description below. And I will see you in the next video. Mwah!